Hey, good morning, friends and family. Just want to share with some verses with you today. We're in Hebrews today, talking about Jesus being the strong consolation. And I want to read out of the Amplified Version. It was just a little different perspective than the King James Version. It says in verse 16, starting in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 16. Says, Indeed, men swear an oath by the one greater than themselves, and with them, in all disputes, the oath serves as a confirmation of what has been said and is an end of the dispute. In the same way, God, in his desire to show to heirs of the promise the unchangeable nature of his purpose, intervened and guaranteed it with an oath, so that by two unchangeable things, his promise and his oath, in which it is impossible for God to lie, we who have fled to him for refuge would have strong encouragement and indwelling strength to hold tightly for the hope set before us. So, the word that they focused on in the devotional today is strong consolation, or in the translation I read, was strong encouragement. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what that actually that strong encouragement, what it really is. So in the Greek, it is paraklesis, and it is a personal exhortation. It's a call or an urging that's done by someone that's close beside, and that personal exhortation then is something that delivers the evidence that stands up in God's court. So the personal comfort, or the personal consolation, or the personal those strong consolation or the strong encouragement that we're seeing in Scripture actually means that, because it's talking about Jesus, we would have this idea or this thought that Jesus is standing beside us, and he is urging us, giving us a call and urging us to be encouraged, because he's given us evidence that stands up in God's court. So he is helping us. He's giving us this strong encouragement, this strong consolation. So I wanted to see what this meant in the Hebrew language as well. And so in the Hebrew language, it's tan kahum, and it means compassion or solace or comfort. And so it's this compassionate understanding of comfort, but it never has the idea that the compassion and the comfort is something that takes away pain. It's this whole idea that in the midst of the pain, I have comfort. In the midst of the pain, I can walk through the pain because I have something that's greater than the pain on the other side of it. So that's kind of how it looks. And then I wanted to find an example in the Old Testament of what that looks like. And so I found in Psalm 94. So it's using the same word across the Hebrew and Greek with the same idea. So they mean the same thing. So here it is in Psalm 94, and we're going to start in verse 16, and then in verse 19 is where you're going to hear the word come out. So it says, "Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers? Unless the Lord had given me help, I would soon have dwelt in the silence of death. When I said, 'My foot is slipping,' your unfailing love, Lord, supported me. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy." So there it is. This is what it's talking about. Is when my foot was slipping, like he was headed down, when he felt like there was no support from around him, The unfailing love of God supported him. His anxiety was great. He was still had anxiety. He still had to go through the pressure of what he had to go through. But it's this strong encouragement, this strong compassion, this thing of God standing beside us that brought him joy. And you could say that if you have joy in that circumstance, then you have peace in that circumstance. And so, what I saw from this as I looked at it is that, um, these words in the Greek, it's talking about a call that's urging, it's done close beside someone, it's a personal exhortation that just delivers to you evidence that stands up in God's court, evidence that He is there, He is walking with you, and He is going through this with you. In the Hebrew, it's this idea of compassion and comfort and solace in the midst of the anxiety that you're feeling. So as I looked at these, when you think about what they're saying in this devotional here, that Jesus is our strong consolation to overcome doubt. Wow. Um, I had to think about when I read that, I had to think about what doubts do I have? What are the doubts that I have today? Are they faith doubts or are they doubts in other human beings? What are the doubts that you're facing? You have the ability, you have the one who stands. He is interceding for you right now. So you have the ability to stand with him and listen to him. He will give you what you need. He's the one that's going to give you the call, the personal exhortation that you need to understand that God is with you. He's here. He's with you. He wants to walk beside you. So whatever you're facing, whatever challenges in your way, whatever um, problem you have. See, a lot of times I think people think, well, I become a Christian, I have no problems. Well, that's not the truth. Um, Being a Christian just helps you work through your problems um, with a clear mind sometimes when other people don't have clear minds. So focus on that, on this idea that your strong consolation, the one who is Jesus, is the one that is going to bring you a call or an urge, and he's going to be the one that speaks it to you, and he will help you understand God's righteousness, and he'll give you the ability to walk through whatever you have, whatever he has for you to walk through. So, if you have doubts, know that he's your strong consolation. Look to him for whatever you need. And then I think just pray about those doubts. He wants to hear them. He wants to hear them from your lips. There is power in the spoken word, and there is power in confessing your fear. And there's also power in receiving from him when you do confess that fear or those doubts or whatever you're going through. You give them to him. And as you give them to him, you can actually begin to hear clearly from him then directions that you need to go. So, yeah, whatever doubts you have, whatever you're afraid of, whatever fears there are, just turn them over to Him. We have this Jesus in Him. We have the strong consolation. We have the strong encouragement. We have the one who gives us the urge, the call to understand how great God is, and then we can share that with people around us. Hey, be blessed, journey well. Have a great day in the Lord. And remember, Jesus is our strong encouragement.